Thank you. Denise Sekuze Skyze, I'd like to acknowledge all of the hereditary chiefs that are with us today and watching. As Robert said, I'm Marlaena, the Executive Director of Communications and Data Governance. So excited to be here celebrating our 30th year anniversary. I've been with the organization for almost half of that time, which seems like a long time, and to think about that being double is just such a rich history of such good work. I'm so excited to be a part of it. I think when I think about my experience at Carrier Sekani Family Services, I feel like I've just learned so much from so many wonderful leaders. And I just feel so proud and blessed to be able to stand with them and do the wonderful work that we do. I'd like to start by talking a little bit about our communications program. So with that, we'll switch to the PowerPoint here. This is our communications team. We have our director, Robert, at the top there. And then right beside him, we have Mick, and at the bottom, Jordan and Autumn. I just want to pause for a second here and take my hat off to these fine people. Of course, in an environment that we're working in now, in COVID, this AGA had to be amended very much so from previous years, and this team has been working almost around the clock for at least the last month plus. To be able to put together all of the content and the presentations and everything to make this day a reality. So I'd just like to ask that everyone give them a big round of applause. They have worked so hard. And I think they've done a wonderful job. Thank you, you guys. So one of the goals that we reported on last year was that we had some work to do around internal communications. The organization is big, it's growing, and of course it's spread out among many different communities as well as offices, etc. So one of the things that we really worked hard on last year was implementing a strategy. In order to put the strategy together, we did an audit to build a baseline from our staff as to what their needs were. And from that, we put together a plan. So part of that plan was to use Zoom more, and my goodness, have we ever. Of course, at that time, we were not in a COVID environment, but wow. So we are using Zoom all the time now, and we've also started using it for all staff meetings on Zoom, which we had one so far. It was very well received, and we have another one that's been booked for a few weeks from now. We also have a few other goals that came from that audit were to use the staff meetings better to share information, so making sure that all of the managers have information that they need to share with their staff, because the staff all noted that as a preference. We also have an opportunity for all of our staff to make sure that all of our staff rather know what our strategic goals are. I think at the management level, we know very well, but a lot of the line staff aren't aware. So that's something that we really are excited to be working on. The power of, you think about all of us, however many of us there are, paddling in the same direction, how powerful that is and how quickly we can get goals completed. We also are going to be working on a staff recognizance award for basically recognizing the hard work of our staff, as well as when they are doing things that exemplify our organizational values. And we are going to be revamping the communications committee. Of course, with COVID, communications has played a huge part in sharing information and ensuring that people knew how to access programming, etc. So we did get bumped back a little bit, but after the AGA here, we're excited to get working on our goals again. We also last year put together updated branding guidelines and some email subject guidelines to help us be able to find information more quickly, and we are excited to be rolling that training out very soon. And lastly, on internal communications, we have embarked on an intranet project, which is basically an internal facing website. It'll have program information, access to documents, access to training documents and videos, forms, a staff directory, links, and an interactive communications platform so that people can interact with each other in an informal way, look for help, share information to reduce the amount of dependency on email, because right now we have a lot of dependency on email. For community communications, we also, as most of you know, every year we do an external audit, usually in February. We this year had 179 community members respond, so thank you so much for that input. It's so important to us to have an idea of what it is that you guys need from us to be able to give you what you need in a way that works best for you. So the information that we got from that survey was that the most important way of communication is for those staff-to-staff interactions that community members have with our staff, as well as larger meetings like the one that we're having today. We got some feedback that people wanted to have the Goozy newsletter come out more often. So we've gone from a quarterly newsletter to having it come out every other month. We got some feedback that people want to have more community engagement and also want to know more about the community engagement that we are already doing, which is already happening, but there's definitely an opportunity to communicate more about that. So we're going to be involved in making sure that we're a part of the follow-up for all community engagement moving forward. And we also had some input to have our own curated content, which of course, now that we have a full team, we're able to put together videos and do a better job of sharing the stories from our nations that are important to everyone to hear about. If anyone's interested in the statistics, I usually share those at this meeting, but just in the interest of time, you can download our annual report at our website. Again, that's www.csfs.org. If you go to About Us, and you can drop down and find our annual reports there. So you can, any of the reports that you want to know more about, please download the booklet and have a look at the full reports from all of our programs. And we, of course, always encourage people to connect with us. So, of course, we are on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we are on YouTube, like we are right now, and we're also on LinkedIn, which is something that we've just done recently. In the past year, we've been working really hard with the Human Resources Department to have a presence on LinkedIn and showcase the wonderful work that we do, and also give an opportunity to people who are looking for work to be able to connect with us that way, and so to do some recruitment work. We love it when people are having community events and want us to be there to provide coverage. We love it. If there's cultural events that are appropriate to be shared, we love to get invited. So please, please, if anyone ever wants us to come to anything, we love it. Please just email us at communications@csfs.org. We also welcome guest writers. So if there's anyone out there who has an interest in writing, we would love to hear from you. So please reach out to us. And I also encourage everyone to visit our website and sign up for our newsletter if you haven't already. And then I will move to our information tech team. Very pleased this year to welcome Phil, who you'll see at the top of the screen there to the left. Phil joined us from Ontario. He has a wealth of knowledge around all things IT and has a huge amount of passion around data governance. The IT team maintains all of our computers, of course, our telephone resources, which is new. I'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. Security and privacy around data and information. This includes, of course, our wide area network, our local area networks, cell phone support, server and workstation support, end user support, which means our staff, and most recently our VoIP phone system. And I have to, again, take my hat off to the IT team. Again, with the impacts of COVID, many people are working from home and needed to be connected remotely, and the IT team was able to get everyone connected. So some of the projects that they've been working on over the past year have been to revamp our contract with TELUS, update our servers, change the workflow a little bit so that they can do, of course, user support, but also make room for projects. Provide training to all of our staff to protect privacy and security. Updates to our internet connectivity and the VoIP project. And the VoIP project means Voice over Internet Protocol. And basically what it means is that we now have our telephone system run over the internet. The phase 1 of that project is complete. We have all of the units installed on the desks for people to use. And there's lots of new phone features coming that you can't get with a normal telephone system, a wired telephone system. So people, for example, can get their calls forwarded to their cell phones. They can have their messages transferred to text and texted to them. There's all kinds of features. You can use your phone and your computer as a fax machine. All kinds of features that you can't do with a line telephone system. So we're super happy to be rolling that out and have the first phase completed. With data governance, this is a brand new program, something that has already had some work happen on it, but more to come. Really, it's about the information systems and data they generate, which are the tools of governance. As we all know, historically, data has been used to control and colonize. And so looking to create our own data and use that data to empower nations. As Mary talked about, really enabling us to be able to predict where issues are going to be so that we can focus on being ahead of the ball, so to speak. So really looking at who, what, and how, when, and why of data to ensure that security and compliance is there, but also to extract value to be able to empower us to fulfill our mission, vision, and goals. So we're going to be taking a good look at the data that we currently keep and additional data that's needed, as well as the systems that we use currently. So really looking at those wellness factors and to be able to see what's going well and where we need to make sure that we're providing support. So this work, as I said, started a while ago. A gap analysis was completed a year or so back to really look at where we currently have data that we could use to tell us where indicators are of wellness, et cetera, and where the gaps are. Phil has been working on the inoperability of our various data systems, and we are going to be working with Chief and Council on providing them with reports that really meet their needs. So what kind of information do they need from us? How often? What's the best way for us to give you that information? So I'm looking forward to working on those things. I want to talk a little bit as well about privacy. Of course, at Carrier Sekani Family Services, privacy and confidentiality is hugely important to us. All of our staff get training on privacy when they join the organization. We also, of course, all have signed oaths of confidentiality. And we really strive to make sure that people know that it's everyone's right to know who has access to client information, what it's being used for, how it's being used, and how your information is being shared. And if anyone ever has questions about privacy or has concerns about privacy, we really encourage everyone to send messages to privacy@csfs.org, or of course I can be called directly as well. My office is at the 4th Avenue office in Prince George. I'll talk a little bit now about the No Gana training program, the Carrier culture training. I am very, very pleased to be able to work with these lovely women, Barbie Scaling, Diana Mold, Sarah Hine, and new to our team is Autumn Van Conant. And Barbie has a traditional name, Yahali, and she wanted me to remind everyone that she is a little frog, the cute ones. So this training is provided to all CSFS staff, and we also provide it as on a fee per seat basis to community partners. We have never been able to secure funding to be able to provide this training to people, so we supplement our cost by providing it to community partners who pay per seat and enable us to run it. The target group for this training is really for settlers, but we welcome everyone. The blend of having Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people in the room, it makes for a great platform for people to be able to really learn the skills from a variety of voices and experiences. And really, I guess, set the foundation for conversations about reconciliation, because I think a lot of times non-Indigenous people, when they don't understand the worldview of Indigenous people, they can't hear them. And so this is really about enabling people to be able to hear and to be able to understand and be able to understand what happened historically, how it has rolled out today, and what we need to do as service providers to be able to provide really culturally relevant and supportive services. And sorry guys, I mixed up my pages. I guess the only other thing I can add to this, because I've lost my notes, is that we really encourage community partners to reach out with us if this training is interesting to you. We've been able to provide it to many, many different professionals in the Prince George community and beyond. We've had lots of individual sessions, and we're totally happy to do that. Most recently, we're working with the University of British Columbia to provide the training through Zoom to some of our doctors. And we're also working on getting the program accredited so that doctors can get credits for taking the training. So we're super excited about that, and anyone who is interested in having discussions about that, please reach out to us at culturetraining@csfs.org, and we would be happy to have those conversations with you. And that adaptation to Zoom, we're not going to be able to adapt the whole program to Zoom, but a lot of it we will, and we're really looking forward to rolling that out to our staff again, because of course it's been put on hold for the last few months, but we're going to be running a pilot of it here next month, and then from there we're looking forward to being able to share it more widely again. And that concludes my report. I just actually want to add one little thing though, if I may, while the logo is up. We had a question on our Facebook page about what our logo stands for. So it's the mother bear with the baby on her back, which represents our role in caring for children, and the helping hands are the staff and the board of directors and the people who work to support families. And so I have to say, it has been it is my great honor to be one of those helping hands. That logo means a lot to me. And Larry Rosso, the late Larry Rosso from Lake Babine Nation was the artist.